This is part two of Philadelphia. What happened? This is Nick Wright. He's talking about what his take. He's giving his take on what happened to the Philadelphia 76ers in this Boston series.
Came down to the end, games 2, 3, and 5, but Philadelphia had multiple points in each of those games where they were a better than 9 out of 10 win probability. A 22-point lead in game 2 after they lose game 1. Up.
And you know what that is, Nick Wright? That's a sign of youth. When you're up 22 in the playoffs, you shouldn't lose that game. When you're up down the stretch and you can't execute, you should execute. But that's a sign of a young team. You know, you got to take that in consideration when you're procrastinating that these teams will be really good or they got 2 of the top 20 players and all this stuff. You got to take that in consideration. If they're young, they're going to make mistakes. They have not been in this position before. It's great that they won the first playoff round series. They ran into a team that played as a team. There was a better team, and they had a better coach. So they were up against it. And yes, they didn't do themselves any favors by not executing and not by not holding on to a lead by 20 points in game 2. But that's what happens during a process and doing going through anything in life. Is a process. It's levels to everything, and they will learn from this. And next year, they probably will be able to execute down the stretch because they have experienced it, and they may hold on to a 20-point lead next year.
4 with a minute left in overtime in game 3. Last night, up 4 with 90 seconds left.
Game 3, that's a game that Ben Simmons had those 2 terrible turnovers. One is when he had the shot clock. It was tied up. He had the ball running down the shot clock. What he should have did to me was he should have ran down the clock and drove to the hole. If you hit, at least you don't lose the game because the time is ran out. You never give a chance for a team to come back or have a bad turnover to where a team have a chance to beat you after you had the ball in your hand. But like I said, that's a sign of youth. And after that, he had a bad inbounds pass to Embiid, trying to pass a bounce pass, to the center of the court to a 7-footer. So he will learn from it.
Left in the game. To go 0 for 3 in that spot is disastrous. I said going into this series, CeCe said something I thought was interesting, which is if Boston wins, the process has been delayed.
No, I disagree. I disagree with Chris Carter. Chris Carter made some good points, but I disagree. No, the process has been delayed. I mean, it has not been delayed. It's just what it is. It's a process to everything. Next year, we'll see what they do next year to see if they can take another step forward. But to me, the process has not been delayed. To me, they have overachieved this year. If you wanna be real with it, they have overachieved. I know people had them. Some people did have them making the playoffs, but I don't think people had them winning a playoff series. I don't think people had them playing as well as they did down the stretch to win. How many games they won in a row? Like 16 games in a row. So, no, the process has not been delayed. Actually, the process is moving forward. They're a little bit ahead of schedule to me on the process.
As far as to say, I cannot see a path to victory for the Celtics that doesn't involve a significant injury to a Philadelphia 76er, most notably in.
Yeah, but that was stupid, though. I mean, how can you say they don't have a path to victory unless one of those guys get hurt? You acting like those guys have taken the team to the playoffs multiple years or have won titles. These 2 guys didn't have done nothing up to this year, Nick. So what evidence do you have that one of them have to be injured for Boston to win? No, these teams were not that far apart. Yes, I would say Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have a bigger upside than the Boston players that are playing right now, but I can't go off their upside and say, well, the upside means in the future. It's not right now. They're not going to be the players that I think they're going to be in 5 years. They're what they are right now. So we have to judge them of what they are right now, Nick Wright. You can't judge them off of what you think they're going to be, because what you think they're going to be and what really is 2 different things. It's 2 different. It's a reality, then it's what I think in a fantasy kind of like. But you can't say that right now they're what they're going to be in 5 years. These 2 guys did nothing up until this year. You got to look. You have to bring it back some, Nick. I know you fired up, but bring it back. They have not done anything to put out there that one of them have to be hurt for the Celtics to win. No, Celtics is a really good team, coached by a really great coach.
Or Simmons. The Sixers were fully healthy in this series, and they got out-executed and out-finished, game in, game out, and that's problematic for them.
Well, I just don't think the problem I have is when you say, well, this is a young Sixers team and they're just getting used to the spotlight and they're just getting used to going deep into the playoffs. Because without Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, like, this is a young Celtics team who don't have the experience in the play.
No, Jenna. They have experience in the playoffs. I just named the players that were on that team in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Marquise Morris of the Morris Twins. Brown was there. Rozier was there. A lot of guys was there on the team right now, except for Tatum. Tatum was the only one that really wasn't there. But a lot of those guys was there in the Eastern Conference Finals and playing significant minutes. And playing, Marcus Smart was there. So a lot of those guys were there. Al Horford. But the 76ers, what we did was, and I'm guilty of it, I did not look at the fact that 76ers didn't have a lot of people on their team that didn't have a lot of playoff experience. I was going off of what they did in the last playoff series and how well they played, and they did execute in that series. They executed it in the Miami series. So, I was going off of that evidence and bringing it into this series, but every series is different, different matchups. But yes, they both are young teams, but one of the young teams had been in the Eastern Conference Finals before, Jenna. I mean, you have to look at that. I don't know what you getting your evidence from.
Who weren't used to going into the postseason, who did win on the road. They had all the same things afflicting them that the Sixers had. So my question to you then, CC, becomes how much of what happened to the Sixers falls on those two guys, on Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid?
Well, some of it is on them. Because in critical situations, Joel Embiid couldn't get a big bucket in the end. And last night's game,
I say a lot of it is on them. Some of it on the coach, but the coach can't make baskets. The coach didn't make the error in passing that Ben Simmons did in the game 3. And passing the ball, trying to pass the ball to J.J. Redick when he should have kept the ball. And yesterday, we all seen it that Joel Embiid had a layup. Yes, it was contested, but he got to put that in the basket. He got to go really strong, either get fouled or make that bucket, because you need that bucket down the stretch. So a lot of it's on them. Too much is given, much is expected. We said that these two guys have a high ceiling, so we expect them to make plays like that. But like I said, it's a process, and they will learn from it.
The ball at point blank range, he can't finish it off. You're supposed to be in that situation, Joel Embiid. You're supposed to be able to get a bucket.
And another thing, Joel Embiid has to stop shooting up. Look, these skilled big men. I understand y'all skilled and y'all can hit threes. Y'all need to get in the block, man. Y'all need to get down in the block and punish people. Punish people down low first, then go outside and start shooting threes. But punish guys down low, put pressure on the defense, put these guys in foul trouble, have guys having to collapse, having to double you so you can kick it out for wide open threes, uncontested threes. Ben Simmons needs to work on his jump shot. He needs to get down on the block and punish these point guards, because they are punishing him from the outside. Terry Rozier took him to school in this whole series of driving past him. The foot speed is too much. Now, the upside to him is, yes, he's 7 foot tall, playing point, and no guy, and that's unusual. But the foot speed of all these point guards, it's a lot of great point guards, and this is a great era for point guards, and he's going to have to deal with that. And to offset that he's going to get beat on one end, he has to go punish these guys on the block. You're 7 foot tall. The tallest average point guard this era is 6'4". That means you have like 5 to 6 inches on any point guard. You need to get on the block. You did it when you was in college. You did it there. You need to go back down there at some points of the game and punish these point guards and get them in foul trouble, so they won't have to do what they did to you on the other end.
Went to him in isolation. They didn't double team him, and he's within 2 feet of the bucket, and he can't get it in. The reason why? It's still a skill thing. He's still a young player. He still doesn't have any left hand. One thing about LeBron, what makes him special, when he's at the rim, not his ability to get to the rim, but at the rim, he can finish with his right or his left hand. Ben Simmons cannot shoot. It's not exaggeration. He cannot shoot outside of 5 feet. So what did Brad Stevens do? He puts bigger.
And that was a big problem in this series that he cannot shoot from the outside. So he cannot take advantage from he can't take advantage from them as far as pulling up and shooting over the top of them, because he should be shooting over the top of them like he's shooting over a chair. And then to compound the problem, he's not going on the block. He should go on the block. He does have skills on the block, but he's not. Look, I understand you want to play point guard and it looks pretty and you want to do all these pretty passes and all that, but you have to play to your strengths. You have to go down there and you have to get easy buckets. The playoffs is about who can score more efficiently, who can get easy buckets, who can get in transition and get buckets in transition, and who can get buckets in the paint, points in the paint.
Guys on him, they lay off of him, and then if he tries to get to the rim, all those shots are contested in very tough shots. So they have major holes in their game, those two players, that they have to be able to fill those holes, and that's what I think will happen this summer. But the reason why I believe the process is still working and didn't really take a big step backwards, even though they have Kyrie coming, is because Markelle Fultz. I believe his athleticism, Philly does not have a point guard. Ben Simmons is not a point guard. I'm willing to debate that conversation with other people. He doesn't have the mindset for a point guard. He can't shoot like a point guard. He doesn't have the temperament.
He can pass like a point guard, but I understand what Chris Carter is saying. No, he's not a point guard. He can pass. He can pass the ball very well. But I see what Chris Carter is saying. He doesn't set things up. He doesn't come down and set and put guys in the right place. He just comes down and willy-nilly's it, and he'll pass it to an open man. But like he just said, he can't knock down a jump shot. In this league, in this day and era, you have to be able to knock down a jump shot. You have to. It's just the way the game is now. Like I said, when Magic was playing back in the day, he couldn't shoot at first, but Magic went down on the block a lot. He was punishing those guards, and Ben Simmons is not doing it.
As far as taking care of the ball like a point guard. So I believe Fultz, when he comes back, and he is that dynamic athlete at point guard to be able to negate some of the things that Kyrie Irving can do. And also, on the offensive standpoint, Boston don't have anyone that can guard him. So I like a point guard for the 76ers and one other veteran in free agency. I believe the process will be on schedule.
You seem more bullish on Fultz than the Sixers did. The Sixers refused to play him.
They didn't play him.
He got healthy. He got able to play at the end of the regular.
I believe largely the reason why they didn't play him is because he didn't play all year. They got defensive schemes and they got offensive schemes. Now, it's one thing playing them in little spots here and there in the regular season. He did play some against Miami, but I think because he couldn't get fully caught up, and he had some struggles out there against Miami too. He had some struggles in the regular season even when he came in. And I just think Brett Brown just wanted to go with the guys that came there, that was there all year, and he had a pretty good rotation. That's why Fultz didn't play that much. But Fultz probably will play next year. He probably will start at point guard. He should start at point guard and put Ben Simmons at the 4. Yes, he can play some spotted point guard duties, but he largely needs to go down low, man. You got 2 7-footers that can post up and are very skilled, and you need to take advantage of that.
Regular season, they felt like we were better off with not only Simmons, but T.J. McConnell, with anyone that they would put.
No, that's right now. We're talking about moving forward.
Sure.
Yeah, Nick, we talking about moving forward, man. Look, Nick Wright, man. Chris Carter gets irritated with Nick Wright. I mean, he gets largely, because Nick Wright, he's all about numbers and this and that. No, man, sometimes you just got to look at the game and be able to talk about what you see. The numbers don't tell you everything all the time.
Forward, all right? There's a reason why he was the first player in the draft, and he showed signs of that. When you get in a series like this, where his shot is still suspect, no, you give him the whole offseason and next year. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about if he was in this series.
Listen, I'm glad you mentioned that he was the first pick of the draft, because I don't think the process is off the rails. I'm not arguing that. I am arguing this was a disastrous series for them because it should be 3-2. It maybe should be 3-2.
Nick Wright, just stop it, man. No, it shouldn't be no 3-2. Shouldn't be. No. This is a 7-game series for a reason. It roots out the better team. No, it's what it is. What it is what it is. Philadelphia could not execute down the stretch. They had some execution problems. You can say coaching or you can say players, but largely the players on the floor. No, like I said, Philadelphia, they're going through a process, and next year they should be better. Subscribe to the channel. I'm out.